So welcome everyone, I'm Tom, one of the co-founders at London Filmed, and this is our very first session of Tech Bites. In these sessions, we will be bringing you the latest tech as the event industry evolves through 2021 and beyond. The sessions are short, sweet, free-flowing and informative and a bit fun. So to kick things off today, I've got two members of the Glisser team. Vanessa, I'll start with you.
Hi, yeah, I'm Vanessa at Glisser. It's really awesome to be here today. Thank you very much for inviting us. I spent 15 years working as an event organizer before joining Glisser and was working on virtual and hybrid events long before the pandemic hit. So plenty of experience in what it's like to actually set these up and run them, and now using that experience with the Glisser team to make sure that people get the most out of using a virtual and hybrid event platform. So that's what I do. Nardos, maybe you could introduce what you do.
Hi, I'm Nardos. I'm a sales manager here at Glisser. I've been in the company just under 2 years, so have seen live events, hybrid events, virtual events, so seen it all, if you will. So yeah, happy to have a chat with anyone who's looking into hybrid events for 2021.
Fantastic, and we've got a working relationship. So London Film, we've worked with Glisser at the back end of last year. But I'd like to start, and maybe Vanessa, I'll start with you. If you could maybe just give us a bit of an overview of Glisser, a bit of a product overview, when you started and where you're based, that'd be fab.
Yes, great question. So we actually started, I think it's coming up to 7 years ago, so long before Nardos or I were involved. And actually Glisser started as a tool to be used at live events for engaging the audience with the speakers and with the content, so through using polling and sort of interactivity tools and techniques. Wind on to now, we've taken all of that knowledge and actually created a massively evolved virtual and hybrid event platform, which is really all about engaging the attendees so that it's not just a one-way street. You're not just watching something online, you're actually getting involved in it and contributing even to the content at times too. So we started out in London, which is where we still have the sort of larger team at the moment, but we've also got a really strong contingency in the in the US, which is growing really fast actually. So it's quite feasible that by the end of this year there may be more people in the US for Glisser than there are in the UK. So kind of half and half, I guess we could probably say at the moment.
That's great. And whereabouts in America? Are we talking New York?
Oh, another good question. So it was New York. Yes, we had an office in New York, but actually that closed physically last year for very obvious reasons. And now actually we're hiring people all over the US. So we've got people West Coast and East Coast and almost everywhere in between as well, time zones wise. So very well spread.
Fantastic. We're just about to embark on our first deal out in the States as well, which is going to cover off New York, LA, Boston and DC. So we're super excited about that, albeit it is tentative times to get over there. But we're looking forward to that. So that's a fantastic background on Glisser. And like I said, we've worked with Glisser before as a platform. I think in Autodesk in particular, which was a week-long event, which was super fantastic. And they love the platform and will actually be using it again this year in 2021. So Nardos, maybe over to you. And I know we've chatted at detail over the phone and also with Burger at lunch when we were allowed to do that. But do you have, it'd be interesting just to dig into if you have any specific sectors that you focus on, through the platform, or any specific events that you tend to target?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, I think that Burger was our biggest bonder when we first met. But yeah, absolutely. In terms of our clients, we've literally got clients from all shapes and sizes. We don't really have a specific sector we go to because I think Glisser works and adapts really well in all types of situations, from training sessions to large conferences with hundreds and thousands of people as well. So I can't give you an exact sector, but we've done it all. I think Vanessa, you could probably jump in and give a bit of support from the clients that you've worked with since you've joined. But I know that from my client side, we've done webinars, training sessions, small workshops, roundtables. We've even run like multi-day, multiple breakout room sessions. Really large conferences as well.
Yeah, and everything Nardos says is correct. I think actually sort of the best way to pinpoint who Glisser works really well for is actually around what people are trying to achieve with their events. So if they're looking for engagement and interactivity and actually to have their attendees sort of getting involved then we're a brilliant fit. If it's more of a watch and learn, then you can probably use a different tool. So I think it really comes down to what people are trying to achieve with their events, and sort of corporate event planners are probably the most commonplace people who we work with overall. So sort of large organizations right up to sort of major enterprise size who want to make their meetings, be they for investors or for their internal teams, as meaningful and as impactful as possible.
Sure, and I think so. To summarize, you're kind of sector agnostic, but it's really the engagement element you focus on. So, where especially, I guess that's a really nice fit as we move back into the hybrid environment. So, looking forward to seeing that in play.
Hit the nail on the head there, Tom.
Nail on the head. So, moving on, and Vanessa, perhaps I'll come back to you here just to kick this one off. But I think what the pandemic has done is fast forwarded technology, 3-4 years, and it'd be fantastic to just hear a little bit more about what you're adding to the platform in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, you say 3 or 4 years, I think others would probably say 10, to be honest. It's been radically fast. In the 6 months that I've joined, the platform is almost unrecognizable because the speed of change and evolution. But I can keep this really simple. There is one feature that we are super pumped about because it is going to make our customers' lives so much easier, and that is the release of our own video streaming service. So whether you want to do broadcasting or you want to do sort of video style conversation like this, where everybody can actually contribute and get involved, we've created a streaming service that will enable both of those. So it's called Glisser Stream. It goes live in about 5 days' time. Yeah, 5 days' time, exactly. And honestly, I can't tell you what a huge difference this is going to make to all of our customers' lives. It's literally going to cut hours of effort out of their days when it comes to preparing these events. So we're really, really pumped about that.
That's the main one.
And if I can just add to that as well, I think the main contributor to our roadmap is our customers. So we love getting feedback, listening to what they need, what they want out of the platform, and working on that. So like Vanessa said, since COVID started, and even over the last few months, we've just got so many new features that we've added just to make that these events like simpler and easier for the organizers to plan, but also for the attendees to get the most out of when they're joining as well.
Yeah, that's so important because I mean, there's so many tech developments through the events sector happening all the time. It's really about simplifying the customer journey. So 100% agree with you on that. Not as hopefully an easy one for you. So let's see. But in terms of capacity, which is a question we get all the time, we're agnostic. We sit in the middle. We try and help our clients find the best platforms and build solutions around them. But it'd be good to know, from your perspective, what's the sort of max capacity within the platform, and perhaps also a minimum capacity, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy. In terms of minimum, we have none. We've got clients that are using it for, like I said earlier, small sessions, so single sessions that have about 30 or 40 people interacting with each other. And then we've got large events in the thousands, really. In terms of maximum capacity of the platform, I know we've tested for up to 100,000 attendees. And what I mean by that is load testing. So we hammer the platform with comments and poll questions and multiple
we tested to 173,000 last week.
Oh wow!
And it was fine. I was online with an event yesterday that had over 12,000 attendees. The platform stability is absolutely fine. We really have no concerns on that front.
I was just about to say, I don't think we've found Glisser's limit yet. And I think even that 174,000 is not the limit. If we tested for more, we could probably reach it. But yeah, so in terms of maximum capacity of attendees joining, we have none, I should say. And in terms of the platform, we do allow for multiple breakout rooms as well. I think that's one thing that a lot of our event organizers find really useful. So you can run a session that's multiple days long with multiple breakout rooms happening like simultaneously, and even have like topic rooms, so on additional on-demand content that you can incorporate in there as well, and it's all encompassed under one single URL that attendees use to join. So really simple access access point for participants as well.
Yeah, and I can speak firsthand again, the experience from Autodesk and the other events we've done with you. It's super easy to use, super intuitive. And I think that's one of its nicest features, to be honest. So thanks for giving us a roundup on the capacity, 174,000. So the virtual Glastonbury Glisser, that's what it sounds like. So question 6, really important question, probably my favorite question. For anyone planning a virtual hybrid event, what are the top 3 tips you give them? And they might be different. You might have different tips, but I'd love to hear from you. What are the top 3 tips you give your clients?
You go first, Nardos.
You know what? No, I was just about to say, we've literally got an expert in here, so I'm not even going to attempt. This actually reminds me of, I think you did like a vlog post a while ago on LinkedIn, didn't you? When you top 3.
There were a lot of tips in that.
Yeah, top 3 goals. But yeah, Vanessa's literally the expert, so I'm just going to leave it to her.
The first one, every time, and I think the team sometimes maybe think I'm a bit of a broken record on this, but I'm completely obsessed with this, is that your event goals have to be the number 1 priority at every step of your event journey. And I think during the course of 2020, this radical change in the way events were handled and managed and delivered, people kind of lost sight of those goals sometimes. And it went from being, why are we doing this event, to how are we doing this event? And actually that still exists a little bit, where people are looking at the tech first and then fitting their events into it. And that needs to completely not be the case. It needs to be the opposite way around. Why are we doing the event? What's the point of it? Why does it matter? Why would people come? Like all of those really fundamental event questions that help you come up with your event goals. And then at every step of your process, you keep going back to those goals and sort of, you know, identifying, okay, we're going to do this because it will help us achieve this goal for the event, or it will help take us one step closer to achieving this goal of the event. And I think that for me is like the number 1 piece of advice, and just don't let go of it. Be like, you know, a dog with a bone, as we say over in the UK. You've got to really, really be kind of as obsessive about it as I am, perhaps. The next 2, I think, at the moment, I would probably go with, it sounds quite boring, but it's really not. Project manage the life out of your event. And this is, like I said, you know, it might sound a little bit dull, but the nature of the work has changed so much that actually I think event organisers are often now project managing a process that they don't really understand that well. And that's where you've got to go back to basics on those core project management skills and assets and abilities that you have as an event organizer, and just make sure that you're being super, super rigorous about it, allocating accountability, allocating timelines, because nothing kind of happens by accident in this current way that we're still navigating the newness of the event world. So it sounds a little bit boring, but I think there's something we probably, working as a supplier for customers, sometimes see a little bit of a gap on, and I think is a good area for improvement. And then the last piece, I think it's just be ambitious. Yeah, it is. It's just be ambitious, because again, last year there was a bit of, we've got to do something's better than nothing. But I think we've got through that page now, and we've turned that page even. We're into the next chapter, which is, what can we actually achieve, and how creative can we be with trying to achieve these goals, and how much can we impress our audience? Because audience expectations, you know, they started kind of down here last March, and they're already up here. I don't know if you can even see my hand off the top of the screen, but you know, expectations have gone up, and I think event organizers need to expand their ambition and horizons to reflect that too. So don't be crazy, as in don't do things you don't need to do, but stretch your ability and your capability. It's only going to grow your skill set too. Sorry, that was quite a long answer.
No, really good answers, and it kind of touched on some of the things we do. Like project management is something we have put a lot of time into, because the workflow for virtual and hybrid are similar but very different. So you have to be vigorous with how you approach an event now. That's super important. And then that point you raise on creativity, you're 100% right. We've gone from people wanting to execute to people going, okay, let's take our time. We actually want to create a brief now, as opposed to just a proposal. Like, what can you do for us in and around the event? And I think that's a really important factor moving forward for events. Like, events aren't going to be on the day. There's going to be a build up to them, an execution at the event, and then what happens after my event. That's going to be really important moving forward.
Completely agree.
So,
Yeah.
you know, as much as the event industry has taken a hit, also super exciting for how events will be, you know, built moving.
I really think that in 2 or 3 years' time, the whole sector will be so much stronger as a result of this, because being kind of frank, the sort of standard of events in early 2020, so before the chaos hit, it all sort of got a bit samey. You know, there was just the sort of routine that people went through, and actually that will not wash anymore. We have to be bigger and better and stronger, and attendees are going to be far more discerning about what they choose to attend in person and what they prefer to do virtually. I just actually think the whole scope of the sector is going to explode, but we're on the edge of that, and we've yet to see the explosion. Is how creative we choose to be with it, is to be how big that explosion will be.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think we're just at the cusp of what people will start to explore for their events. Not as one for you, not as exciting, but again, one that is very important and a question we get a lot. The analytics post-event, it'd be really good just to understand what they look like and how robust they are from Glissa, because more and more people want to know how many people attended, how they attended, what they engaged with. It'd be super useful just to get a bit of an overview on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think analytics is probably one of the main reasons our clients do choose Glissa. So in terms of the data that you gather post-event, you get event level data, then individual session level data, and then delve into delegate level data as well. So what we mean by that is session level, a few of the high level numbers in terms of how many attendees you had, the level of engagement and interaction that you had across that. But then go into each individual attendee as well and actually see how they engaged with your session. Did they ask questions? How they responded in different surveys or polls you might have pushed out? How they also interacted with the content that you're pushing out as well, which is really, really important, because I think that's one of the passive interaction that no one gets to see. You're sharing all this content, but how much is it resonating with your delegates? So you can actually track who downloaded any of the content that you've shared, whether it's presentations in a session or on-demand content you might have added in your topic area, for example. So it's really, really detailed, and it's all exportable again as CSV infographic, or you can actually export it into a couple of CRM systems that we've integrated with as well. So really simple for the organizers post events, just a click of a button. They don't need to kind of rummage through a bunch of data that they wouldn't have been able to get to. And I think Mike, our CEO, which you've met, Tom, he comes from a background of marketing. And this is actually a really interesting story that I love hearing about, because when he did work as a CMO before coming up with Glissa, he used to hire an intern to go through like feedback survey forms and actually collate the data. So Glissa kind of came from his frustration of dealing with the amount of data that they used to get and having to hire a person just to deal with it. So this simplifies the whole process.
It seems mad thinking about that now, but I think that's one of the biggest step changes I've seen, is people wanting to understand in depth how their event has been engaged with.
Yeah.
Because they are looking for real tangible ROI, and they're having to report back to key stakeholders in a more granular manner. So I think it's super important moving forward, and something that you can actually use to shout about post the event as well in a more granular manner.
Absolutely. And with ROI, actually, we've got one part of the analytics is our engagement index score. So this is something completely unique to Glissa. It's a secret algorithm that takes, I say secret because I don't want you to ask me to explain it, but it basically takes into account every touch point. So being able to download content, people asking questions, people responding in your polls, and gives you an average score out of 100. So you get that on an event level and then individual session level as well. So if you were to, like I said, really quickly and easily compare sessions and evaluate different events, especially if you're running multiple events throughout the year, that's one quantifiable number that you can just grab share with the team and use kind of plan the rest of your event portfolio as well. So I think that's been a quite useful tool for a lot of our clients.
That's fantastic. It's great to hear about as well, and a bit of an insight into what happens under the hood, which I think is really important. So we've gone through quite a few different features of the platform, leading up to the analytics point there. I think it would be really interesting. I know people love the platform, and I've seen them use it and engage with it and want to use it more. So what's the best way for people to get in touch with you guys at Glisser if they'd like to explore the platform a bit more?
Yeah,
that's a great question. We'd love to hear from people. Probably the easiest way is to go to our website, which is glisser.com, and then if you put /demo at the end, DEMO, then that will take you to a page which you can just quickly put in your details and we'll sort you out with a demo. We're on LinkedIn obviously and Twitter, but yeah, hit the website and you'll see a book a demo button, or just put /demo at the end.
The bonus question, if Glisser was a music artist, what artist would you be and why?
We had a real laugh with this one.
Yeah.
We actually put it to our entire business during a company meeting, which we run on Glisser, obviously, and we've been using engagement tools to put this question out there. And then people got to vote on who they thought was the best answer. Okay. And the one that came up was David Bowie. Oh, okay. And there was a reason for it. So he was obviously credited with adapting and remaining relevant throughout changing times. And that was what the team really went for, was that we existed before COVID times and we've adapted, and we have continued to adapt the platform and will continue to adapt the platform in the coming months and years, no doubt, to remain really relevant. And I thought that was a really, really cool idea. I mean, there were some atrocious other suggestions that I dare even say, but that one we thought was really good, and it did get the most votes, so obviously the whole team agreed with that too.
Yeah.
It's a great question. It really made us laugh, and just it's good to make you think differently about things.
You have to think differently, and I think that's a really key note to end on in terms of how the industry needs to evolve and take things forward. It's about thinking differently and thinking outside the box, and utilising technology that's to hand, and hopefully, this is one of many of these Tech Bite sessions we'll be running, just to give everyone a bit of a flavour, to the other platforms that are out there and the other technologies that are coming on board. I think that's going to be really important as we move into 2021 and beyond. So I just want to take this time to say thanks to both of you for having a chat to me. I appreciate that.
It's been a real joy. We love working with you guys too. It's a really great partnership that we've set up, and we're super happy to be included in this today.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Just to kind of build on what Vanessa said, thanks for having us, and it's been absolutely amazing working with you guys, and I think you've become experts in the platform. It took you about one training session, Tom, if I'm correct. So
I guess that's credit to how intuitive it is, though, as well.
Yeah.
I'm not the sharpest tool in the box, but it was it was nice, and I got hold of that quite quickly, as did the team, and I think they all really enjoyed working on it. So yeah, looking forward to working with you all, through the course of the year and beyond. So
yeah. I'm really excited to see what 2021 brings as well, in terms of all these new virtual events and hybrid as well, which is going to be like an exciting time for the industry, I think.